Hello, anybody who's watching. Once again, my freaking. Hold on. I need to be able to make sure I'm able to actually record this. May I be able to record this? I may not be able to record Discord, so if I can't, then we're going to just like explain lore.
Well, you should be able to check if the screen is recording or not.
I'm trying. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, if this doesn't work, we're gonna have to just be like explaining the lore. Maybe if. Yeah, I don't think I'm able to record any on the Discord.
All right then. So, I mean, you're not able to record it in total, but so the first parts of this is just going to involve something. So, everyone here, if you like lore, universal kind of thing, this is what you've came here for. You don't have to actually look at this. This is like explaining the lore. So, I'm pretty sure from the lore indoors stuff that Lightning was doing. How much lore did you actually explain? I didn't watch the whole
Honestly,
video.
not really that much.
Okay, because here's the thing: the video mentioned that there's blue fire. You mentioned
Oh, well, Hasma stole your mic was messing up for me.
all right. You mentioned there was contaminated in there too, right?
I think.
All right then, because the thing is that there. Did you actually come up with a name for your universe, or is it just nameless still?
Still nameless.
Oh damn. So, for those of you that don't already know, if you didn't watch my, or not my, but if you didn't watch my drawings or the Yellow
Oh,
Blister
okay,
drawings
okay, I
from
got to
Lightning's
be able
channel,
to record Discord.
oh hell yeah. Okay, so go to Quatech, not Quatech, Quartech. Quatech is in GTA. Quartech Laboratories,
Quatec
and go to
Lab.
Lore Explaining. You should have access to it. Because I
I
remember
indeed
your
do.
ones being Lightning.
Now,
So,
I will be uploading some videos and images, and he'll be uploading some videos and images. I'm pretty sure
Howie.
to it to
So, first and foremost, before we do anything, before we send anything, we gotta show the viewers the horrifying image of that.
Oh yeah, that's the probably the most important thing ever.
Here, I'm sending it. Look,
So
give the viewers.
that is something that happened by pure accidental mistake, my
We're gonna
friend.
delete it because we're not gonna be looking at that. So,
Yeah,
give
that
the
sounds
viewers a
about
good
right.
few seconds of it. Like, just shut up. Don't make a single sound. Just like zoom in on it and just shut up and don't make a sound. All right, that sounds good enough. Now I'm deleting it.
All right then. All right.
So, I'm gonna actually send a few videos. Don't send anything here for a second. Let me find my videos, the ones that I've just looked at. All right, so yellow blisters, a very. Let me show you an image. Yellow blisters. These guys. These dudes right here.
Yep.
That's a standard. Those are one of the boys. So, yellow blisters have three main types, being this boy, and this boy. So, three main types being standards. These are the standard types. The one that has all those symbols around it, those are all quarantine zone symbols. Different ways, different things. That one is called a crawler. The one with the weird tubes coming out of his neck, it even says it, Splurger, and then the one with the yellow all over him is known as a blunt force. Those are the three main standard types. Yellow blisters are my main infection, and me and Lightning's lures aren't exactly connected to each other, but share similarities like infection and military. So we have decided that Lightning's military is the strongest, being the blue fire, the strongest infection being the yellow blister, and so on and so forth with everyone else. This whole lore explanation video will be involving a lot of talking rather
Yeah,
than, actually things. So I'm actually going to send a video, Lightning,
I'm
give
sending
the
a ton of
show
videos.
viewers what it is. Animation that I made. Ooh, god damn.
Yeah,
Holy
I'm going
shit.
to show each of
Give
these
me a second.
animations. First
Uh,
one are some contaminated.
Contaminated look exactly
Example of
like that.
contaminated.
Watch that video right after you're done.
Now I'm going to showcase this. This is an example of yellow blister.
So that's and if you're wondering why he isn't shooting at the head, he's shooting at the heart. That's because ow. That's because blisters sorry. That's because blisters their weakness is not the head. It's either the heart, the neck, or the lungs. It's mostly the heart though. Aiming there will mostly kill a standard. A standard, not every single blister type, a standard. Now, did you showcase the yellow blisters?
Yes, and now I'm going to showcase the last three. This is what a contaminated overlord is like. This should be the right video. Yep, it is. Contaminated overlord. This is just a random another contaminated.
Hold on, I
Another
can't look at
example.
my blister video. I can look at yours though.
This is an example of how contaminated move for anybody who wants to know. They're wobbly
Uh,
boys.
they are very
And this is
wobblies.
a contaminated brew. Oh. Now I've got a couple of other videos.
Now, before you keep sending shit, hold on.
Alright.
I gotta send a few things of mine. So, for those of you that do not know, you shouldn't know at least. I'm sending a video that is 44 seconds long. This is how the blisters would behave whenever they are in a horde mentality. You've already seen what happens to someone whenever they fuck up, which in the first video of the first animation of things, you saw how the blisters, whenever they died, they like got shot in the heart, and then thousands of them started going after the survivor, and then two of them ganged on him, and then the rest stand still because they saw that they had no use. Blisters are intelligent, and let me tell you this: all of those in the video are just standards. Like those are the regular things you're going to be dealing with in like a blister apocalypse, not zombies. Sorry, a blister apocalypse. Blisters are not dumb in any way, shape, or form. They're actually able to pick up weapons and use them. Like, Lightning even knows this. Yellow blisters are able to pick up guns and shoot you with them and reload them with the perfect mentality. The blisters are actually very good at tactics and all kinds of different things. Infection time is 5 to 12 seconds. And, did you see the full video, Lightning?
It's
The
almost complete.
44-second one? It's what?
It is just now complete.
All right. So if you saw that guy at the end that was shooting the blisters with the rifle, that was a QHU. QHU are units sent into the quarantine zone, which is where the blisters are usually contained. The the whole thing about this is that the QHU were sent into the quarantine zone for one purpose and one purpose only: eliminate all the blisters in sight. And here's the thing: you get paid 1.5 million every blister you kill, and at least 10K. You at least get $10,000 for being in the quarantine zone for at least an hour. It's a very high pay just for being in the quarantine zone alone because of how dangerous they are. They the blisters aren't your average stupid zombie. See, the QHU joined this like union for one reason and one reason only, to get that money. And money here, no inflation laws, anything. It's like the United States has broken up. Also, those of you that might not like this, those of you that might, my lore actually takes place in an alternate kind of timeline kind of thing where the whole let me try to remember the whole like universe kind of thing. It's so weird and wonky. The United States during World War One, they have teamed up with Germany after World War One, and during World War Two, the United States fought against all of the allies in World War Two. So Germany and the United States have kind of bonded and created one part, became one country, created a lot of technology that was beyond like human research could imagine. Like imagine a universe where technology was so like beauty, I don't know, like really advanced. I'm like half asleep here. We've just recorded like 5 videos. Three, all of them didn't have audio.
Of mine, at
So
least.
like this is the fifth video to like in a row for me at least. So this one is just going to take place where we're explaining lore and stuff. All of those are contaminated. Show them all the pictures.
Already did.
All right, so here's a few pictures of blister types that you may or may not have seen. So,
Now, this is a. I'm going to show these. This is a contaminated overcrawler. Overcrawlers are overlord types that crawl.
damn, didn't know.
And do that.
So I'm gonna send pictures of like lethal types, not lethal types, but there's so many different things that make everything else different. So that last picture in the picture bunch, that last one is a senseless. You may not know what it is because you haven't
Probably
really
won't.
seen it.
If you
You
do,
probably
then you're
won't.
probably a friend of ours.
If you do, then you probably do. Blisters, I've explained a little bit about other people and stuff. The blister face, that is the first picture on the thing. Lightning show the first one, the blister face.
Will do.
So that, the one with all the yellow all over him, those are blister faces. They have been changed
You
like a hell of a lot. Uh, Lightning, you can tell what's like where his head is in the picture, right? Like his where his
sort.
mouth is, a bunch of blisters grew out, and like the back of his head is faced
It's gross.
backwards. Yeah, it's disgusting. But blister faces are literally just walking hives that once they die, they explode. They are literally just, and they explode, and they don't just explode, they explode into a bunch of acid because blisters, yellow blisters bleed yellow. Their skin is gray, they have yellow blisters, duh. And they have yellow glowing eyes in the darkness. Now, that's a lot of yellow on them, but because they
Not
bleed
really.
yellow, yeah, I know, right? They actually have acidic blood. So getting like a blister on you and stabbing it is like a death sentence because the acid is really painfully fast with corroding things. It is actually really bad to get hit. It's actually weaker than hydrochloric acid, but it's enough acid to where if you keep it on your skin for too long, it will. It's like weaker than hydrochloric acid, yet it's able to burn through something that high. It's able to burn through something. Okay. It's very slow acting acid, but it's able to burn through something like metal or something like that. But either way, the go to the next image. The regenerator.
Alright.
That is a regenerator. You may not know what is going on in that picture, but if you paid attention, the you may see a bunch of spikes coming out of him. Those are not spikes, those are pipes. The regenerator is able to summon spikes out of the ground, killing or impaling those. So if you see those dead bodies on the background, those are all regenerator pipes. They come out of the ground and kill people and give the viewers a good face image. It's very blurry, you can't see it. But either way, that is what the regenerators look like and how they the way they act is they're really like
Healy.
It's hard to explain. Next image, Splinter. So the Splinter may not seem like much. It looks like
It looks like
a
096,
yeah, I know, right?
but with yellow blisters. 096 has a yellow blister.
It doesn't regrow it. It's able to the limb goes after you. It like splits into a bunch of pieces. Imagine the splitter from Dead Space. That's basically what it does. All of its body parts go after you. Next image, the senseless.
If you
Now,
understand what's going on in this image, I'm proud of you, because I don't understand.
there's literally nothing going on in the image other than the senseless just standing there,
Dead man.
right there. There's a dead man in the background though.
Yeah.
So there's a dead person in the background. Now, that one right there in front, the senseless, you the arm is actually not the person's arm. The arm is actually from inside the senseless. The senseless are actually, well, here's the thing. Senseless don't detect you from sight, and they definitely, you might think, oh, they're like every single thing. They don't detect you from hearing either. They don't detect you from any sense that a human could normally feel. They actually detect you from adrenaline if you fear them. So if you are fearing them, your adrenaline is running through your body. So adrenaline is what drives them. They go after you, and then they like grab you, and hell is what happens next. They don't beat you up. They like consume you. Now, Lightning, you can go to your next stuff that you just sent. Like that's like a lot of shit. Holy God. Let me get the next images ready.
Now this bit was just a normal contaminated encounter, the first image or video. This is a contaminated using clothing. This is violence. Another contaminated overlord. Don't ask what happened to him, because it's best to not know. Another contaminated overlord. If you can't tell, I like the overlords.
Yeah, Lightning really likes his own creation, the Overlord. So, those of you that watched the Yellow Blister Drawings video, you might know about what this is. If it will send, you will know what that is. The Giggler. But hold on a second, I'm not done yet. You will also know what this is. It's the exact same image because the Giggler, it's not a thing by itself. If you guys, I'm pretty sure there was the Weeper in there too. But the actually, let me send the image. Let me go all the way down to my Scanimans or my mannequins. Where the hell are you?
18 minutes of lore so far.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the Weeper. So these are mannequins. Mannequins are a very horrifying creation. They are very.
There's 2 mannequins and make them worse.
Not just Little Nightmares 2 mannequins. You can't forget SCP-173 and also the whatchamacallit, those things from Dark Deception, the golden statue guys.
And,
I forgot.
And also those weird statue things from, I forgot what it's called.
Weeping Angels from Doctor Who.
Basically, take every single one of those and make them worse.
Those all have something in common. They all move when you don't look at them. But there's something different about. So the Giggler, it's a horrifying concept because the Giggler has the sound of a 3-year-old child. It sounds like it at least, and it wants to. It sounds like it acts like it. Yet whenever it catches
children, you won't like one of these.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: it sounds like a little kid. The Weeper, though. The Weeper and the Tragedy mannequins. Comedy mannequins move when you don't look at them. Tragedy mannequins move when you look at them. The Weeper does exactly that. So whenever you look at the Weeper, it charges towards you at full sprint. Now, I'm going to send the next concept. We're going to go for less of infections kind of side and more on your like military kind of thing. So here's an image of the bites. They're little robots that help the QHU and all them in a combat situation. There's the mannequins. Anyway, so the bites are a form of robot assistant, I guess you could call it. And let's just say that the bites have one thing in common. They all have all bites have one thing in common. They all want to assist. They all have something they want to do. And they are very useful in the quarantine zone because they are uninfectable. No, here's the thing. Blisters are not able to just infect the living. They're able to infect the dead, mannequins like you just saw, statues, hell, even take robots. They're even able to infect blue fire. Here, let me send it in. No, wrong image. No, please, no. Oh my god. Um, uh, wrong image. Lightning. That's the wrong image. That's the wrong
I
image.
looked away from my phone.
Wrong image. That was the wrong image. Sorry. Um. This is the right image. They're able to infect the blue fire. I'm sorry, I had that image saved everywhere. Like every single day I have it saved. Sorry. Pressed on it by accident. Alright. That was actually the wrong. Oh my god.
The funniest part. The funniest part is I had like the bites image, like the image of the bites up, so all I saw was a slight bit of text and the back of the skeleton. I glanced up from my phone. I was like, "What is that?" I was sort of scared, thinking it was going to be something inappropriate or something, or like something I wouldn't want on YouTube, but like something bad, and then it's that.
Alright, I got rid of it anyway.
That
I
was
didn't mean to do
amazing.
that. But either way,
If you couldn't
so
tell
you
from my
see that
laughter.
the blue fires are able to get infected and turn into yellow blisters. So
Cat, will you
we
stop
have
messing with my
decided
microphone? You're doing
we
too
have
much.
decided upon shut up. We have okay. We have decided upon this where we have had truces. The QHU are able to turn into contaminated and the blue fire are able to turn into yellow blisters. But here's the thing. The blue fire, when they're yellow blisters, usually don't mutate, but are more agitated. Am I right? More
Yeah.
agitatable, and are highly aggressive. Don't they use? I forgot if they use guns over melee weapons or if they use melee weapons over guns.
Blue fire. They blue fire use him both equally.
No, the yellow blisters.
Oh, what?
The yellow blister, blue fire.
They use both equally. Still,
All right then, because
depends
here's
on
the
what they
thing.
have as an option.
Okay, so take an angry zombie with a gun that runs, and that's what a yellow blister is.
Angry
Like
zombie
imagine
with a gun.
killing, imagine saying Among Us in front of Lightning and giving him a gun and he's infectious. There you go. That's what a yellow blister is.
Wow.
So, if you couldn't tell by the slight anger sound he made, that's what he feels like every time you say it. See, I can even do it right now. Among Us. See, he hates Among Us. And yeah, uh, I can expose. Shut up. I can expose a few images right here, right now, of Lightning's whole history. I can expose a few images of
I'm sorry. What?
hit. So I can expose a few images.
I'm sorry. What?
Just kidding. So, you know him, right, guys?
I love how you got so close to your mic whenever you said him.
You guys know him. Well,
That's
what
so
about
cute.
Mega him?
If you can actually see the head, I'm proud of you.
You can actually see the head. I'm proud of you. Just zoom in on it. So, back to lore. So I'm gonna actually send a picture of a certain blister type that is pretty interesting. So the piggyback. Look at the image. The piggyback. It
It.
is a very disturbing, very weird one.
Yeah, you
Lightning even
don't
said
say
he
that.
would want to be this if he was a yellow blister. Well, I asked him, and this is called the piggyback, a stationary ambush yellow blister that literally stands by either dead bodies, hides inside of the ground, or something else. Now, let's just say if a piggyback gets a hold of you, you're not going home in a body bag because you won't be in a body bag whenever they get a hold of you. Because the piggyback, it is not what you seem. It is a brutal death in my lore. It is actually one of the most brutal ways to go out. Now, the piggyback, it latches onto a person's back, obviously, like its name suggests, rides you, but here's the thing. It injects a neurotoxin into your body, your head, to where you're still alive, and it tears your spine out, which is part of your nervous system, which you need that to live, but that neurotoxin is keeping you alive, and it replaces your spine with its spine by injecting it into your body, and it holds you with its little arms, and it basically holds you there. It uses its ribs and places it over your head. Now, it uses its ribs to crush your head like an egg and take your brain and put it into its chest.
Ew.
After it does that, after it does that, it keeps the mouth in complete tact. It just breaks the top part of your head. It keeps your mouth intact. And the piggyback uses your mouth to speak to other survivors and lure people in. Because the piggyback gives the most brutal way to go out in anything ever. It's actually a disturbing way. Even Lightning agrees with it. But I'm going to send a picture of the aftermath of a blister apocalypse. After, there's two scenes in particular that messed up really badly to where it made the background to be completely black. And that's the horrible thing. I wanted it to be completely normal. Also, this is one of my older animations. Whenever I was a little bit whenever I was 13, so it wasn't really good quality. Uh, the other ones were ish, kind of. Oh my god, um, that's not appropriate. But I remember seeing there's a few images I'm looking in here that are not appropriate from saved from Discords. They're hilarious, but not appropriate for YouTube. They're not R34 kind of inappropriate, but inappropriate, they racist or funny, actually funny racist memes. I'm not a racist or anything. Master Chief is the racist of the group. I mean, I'm not wrong.
He's like
Ooh,
he's like a Family Guy head character.
yeah, he is. Ooh, Strider and Twitcher. So the Strider, it is a pretty interesting thing. Me and Lightning and a bunch of other friends, mostly me and Lightning, do a lot of role plays. But um, one of them being where we were in a ghost town in SCP roleplay, and the ghost town blisters work way differently than any other zombie. They're actually a one shot, and if you hit them, they deflate like a balloon. You punch them, they deflate like a balloon and die. They're pretty easy kills, but once you kill them, they're like zombie pigmen. So imagine the zombie pigmen, or nowadays they're called the zombie piglins. I still like calling them zombie pigmen because that's what they used to be called. Oh my fucking god! Why do they got to make the name so advanced? I remember whenever it was just zombie pigman. That was the better name. Like, it was so simplified. Zombified piglin? Like, dude, who wants to be saying that? Anyway, I remember Minecraft way whenever it had the zombie pigmen, where the villager zombies looked like the normal zombies, but just had a zombie, like a villager head, but green. I remember whenever the mobs used to attack you while you were in creative mode. That's how old I am. Yeah, dude. I remember whenever Minecraft only had oak stairs and they only had red beds. Yeah, I remember that. But anyway, continuing on. The imagine like attacking one zombie, like either old Minecraft or new Minecraft. Imagine attacking one zombie piglin, a zombified piglin, and then you hit it, and then all of them are starting to attack you. A ghost town blister works exactly like that. Striders are one of them. Striders are a huge creation. Now, these things are actually the current position they have is placeholder, so they will be attacking later on, but right now they are just considered neutral because there's one called the Overwatcher, which is the one in roleplay. The whole ground came out because of how big the Overwatcher was. It was a huge ghost town blister that was actually in the ground, that came out of the ground, and that's whenever Lightning introduced his agonized contaminated, because it came out of the ground, and like, dude, it was like horrific. There was a contaminated hive and they had to destroy it, so then the ghost town blisters try to keep the humans away from it, so then the humans destroyed it anyway. It only caused a giant ship filled with contaminated. Then the huge ass fucking ghost town blister came out of the ground, punched it, and that was it. It went back in the ground. Like, dude, it didn't even give it a chance. It went, and then it's gone. But either way, the Striders was also punch contaminated into the ground because Striders are tall, very big things. But here's the thing. Are you looking at both of the images? So you see the Strider. You're still on the Strider.
Well, in a very quick second, I am going to very quickly explain these blue fire ranks for anyone who ends up being confused. Blue fire elite, blue fire hazmat, blue fire stout, and blue fire jetpack jumper.
Jet jumper. Anyway,
Now,
look at. Did you see the video?
yeah, the whole video was shown.
All right, so that was there. Now, move from the Strider. Now, just that's what a Strider would look like, and then go to the right, and that's what a Twitcher would look like. The picture is really fucking broken. Now, those are not pipes. Those are actually spikes made of bone, and they are constantly messing with the Twitcher's nerves. That is why it constantly moves. Now, the Twitcher, imagine a snitch that really won't shut up. Like, imagine your 3-year-old brother that you slapped across the face and threw him across the room, and he started screaming like a little bitch. So then you really wanted him to shut up, and that's what a Twitcher feels like. Because you know your parents are going to run after you and beat you up because you did that. They're going to pound you into the ground with their belt. So you know death is coming whenever this Twitcher screams. So imagine every single standard is your parents coming after you with the belt after your little sibling started screaming like a little baby because they can't handle like a simple slap. That's what a Twitcher feels like. It's a snitch.
Best example I've ever heard.
Now, I'm going to send one more thing. You can show the video, your video, to the viewers. Now, this whole thing is an optional experience. So you literally, it's Lightning's probably going to put warning boring in it because, you know, it's just lore explanation.
Nah.
Now, as I was going to say, that brings up the conclusion. So I'm going to show the detailed image and the non-detailed image of the blunt force. I know I already sent them, but So, interesting fact about the Blunt Force. The Blunt Force was actually based off of a certain zombie type known as the Tall Boy in Back for Blood. Lightning knows what it is. They were based off of it and inspired by it. You can tell by the huge arm and the tallness, but the two heads do not. They are not based off of it. The so the Blunt Force. Are you looking at the detailed one or the non-detailed one?
I'm sort of swapping between both.
Give like 5 seconds in between each swap. So, stay on the non-detailed one for a second.
Alright.
So, if you pay attention, there's a lot of spikes all over the Blunt Force, like all over its arm. Those are not spikes. Those are teeth, like really like elongated canid teeth. Not just canid, but like sharp teeth. Either sharp teeth or shards of bone.
Delicious.
Because either way, teeth in my lore is a form of currency in the quarantine zone. It's so valuable because it shows that you've killed a blister. The skulls themselves are unable to be obtained because like how strong a blister's skeleton is. It actually gets introduced to the chemical called blisterine, which blisterine reacts to ultraviolet light and burns all organic matter around it whenever it has that. So if you shine ultraviolet light on a blister, it's going to get rid of its skin, and it's going to show a layer of what feels like fat, what is like very disgusting form of fat. Now switch to the detailed image. Now this yellow stuff that you see is both blood, saliva, and a mixture of bodily fluids known as human waste.
Not pee. I hope.
Not pee, but human waste itself. So don't imagine it as pee. Imagine it as like all of your disgusting parts of your body. Also, this is a mixture of fat, digestive enzymes, and acid. So imagine all that mixed into one, and that's what that is. I've just explained what the blood is. So I've never told this to my friends except for Lightning. He's heard it. The blisters on the body may not look like much, but if you shoot a blister's eyes out, you might be wondering, how can it still see me? The blisters on a blister's body is eyes. Optical nerves have been set in every single one of them. So it's not the blister that's controlling, it's not the human controlling the body or the blister, it's the blisters inside of the body on the nerves controlling your body. So you're still alive during yellow blister infection, which is the disturbing fact. Now, you can send some things and show the viewers, but before you do, I need to send a what the final form of them are. Also, this is an older video, so Blister would die from a headshot. This is also the way to tell if it's an older video too is because the Executor has one head and not three, because the Executor has 3 heads instead of 2 or 1. So Executors in this video, the Executor is a very, very hard to deal with version of the yellow blisters. Now in the video you just saw that guy's head get chopped off.
Yep.
And in the video it gives a really long wait. So pause it at 16 seconds, Lightning. You'll be able to see the Executor. What?
I got to 16 seconds.
Now, the thing about the Executor. Now, look at the image. Now, the thing about the Executor, his arm may not look like much, but it is a saw, like a circular saw put into an arm.
And it's
now, this has also been changed from a saw to a saw with 2 sides facing forward on both sides of the saw. So it can both cut you with those and the saw itself. Now, here's something that you probably didn't know. Now, you know that video, go all the way up, Lightning, until you see the video that I sent where it was the one with the all 4 of the blisters standing there and the red guy getting pushed in. Go all the way over to where go to 40 seconds in that video. In the video where the 4 blisters are standing there.
Nope,
so 40 seconds. So the viewers, you see that little chain with the spike attached to it? What?
I got to the video. I was trying to find it. So,
All right,
like at
so
the
go to
very
40
end.
seconds. Exactly 40 seconds. So, do you see a bone chain coming from the side?
Yep.
All right, so that, play it whenever I say so, but don't do it yet. So, that bone chain is from a blunt force. You might not think, how do they do that? So, the answer is play it. The answer is, how do they actually do that? Is they shoot out a bone chain and they don't aim for the head all the time. They actually hit anywhere they can hit and then pale you and then drag you towards them. Blunt forces are melee classes. They're not meant to be ranged, but that's their only ranged attack. Blunt forces are the main melee class of a blister attack or a blister horde. Now, Lightning, I'm going to give you a situation. So, imagine a horde consisting of 20 standards, 2 blunt forces, and 1 splurger. No, not 1 splurger, 1 crawler. How would a Blood Team Tsunami deal with that?
Hold on. What? I was looking for
Okay,
an image.
okay. While you're doing that, so this is just telling you how aggressive and how deadly blisters are. Now, yellow blisters may not seem like much, but I'll give you the infection scale here in a second. How long have we been explaining lore so far?
Let me see. Probably like 5 million hours or something. 41 minutes.
41 minutes, damn. Anyway, so check if your audio is recording. Jeez.
It is. It should be because it's actually pitting it up. Last time I had my volume all the way down.
Damn. Well, anyway, so here's uh so
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Your mic sort of glitched out for me. Your mic sort of glitched out for me, and all I heard was just disintegration.
anyway, Lightning, look at the contaminated brute. Explain what it is.
What were him first of all? Just you'll have to let that.
Eh.
Yeah, just admire that for a second. Contaminated brute, big boy. Um, the contaminated brute is. I'm going to explain a lot of every contaminated variant I think, actually from start to finish because you kind of explained every yellow blister that you've
Not really.
mostly.
Hold on. First, before I do, infection class ranks. Lightning, your contaminated are in level 4 or 5,
Level
I
5,
remember.
more likely.
All right, then. So, contaminated. So, here's the thing. We've also created a lot of more infections. I'll actually send an image of the ones that we haven't actually, me and Lightning both created. They're called the Blighted. We'll explain those later whenever Lightning gets done with all the contaminated types. Um,
I'm gonna start talking about
so,
the average.
so before you do, the these 3 images are older ones, but are of the Blighted. Now, right after this, the
I
rank
forgot
of
about the
infect.
him. Okay, let me delete the him.
Yeah, I got rid of it. Now,
That's not
here's the
locally.
thing. Infection class ranks. There is level 0, which is both passive or terminated. There's level 1, which is dangerous, but you can avoid or like you can get away from. They don't usually run, but can run. Level 2, which is a try to avoid. Level 3, shoot on sight. Um, level 4, run or shoot. Or um, no, it would be fight or flight. 5 would be dip or rip, and then 6 is both. 6 is escape, or no, hide or run, because level 6. These are for survivors, so these aren't for militaries that want to eradicate it. So if you guys actually have your own lords and you want to introduce them to ours, I mean, I've never had this kind of concept that ever happened. If you want to introduce them to ours, we might introduce some role plays and have a video of it. We might actually be able to do role plays with you guys entirely, if you guys desire that. So anyone that sees this video and gets to this point, I'm actually going to put a timestamp for this. Anyone that gets to this point, you can join our role plays. I'm actually going to put it here,
Maybe
but we're
even
only going to
before
be doing it
60.
on YouTube. Now, we're going to have to do a Discord server for it. I'll invite you to the Quartech Laboratories thing.
And I will
Now,
invite
this
you to the Blue
Quartech.
Fire and Blood team.
Okay, so it depends on which side you want to be on. If you want to be on just listen closely. If you want to be on the side of dealing with infections rather than actual military, Blue Fire Blood team would be not Blue Fire Blood team. Cortec Laboratories would be your option. If you want to deal with an army instead of an infection, Blue Fire Blood team. Now, that means that you'll be able to do role plays with us and everything. But if you want to do like when we desire, we might put in a specific date. But anyway, enough about that topic. All of those infections are for civilian ranks. So they tell you what to do or tell you what you have to do or don't do. Now, all of these, I'm not going to explain their exact thing, but level 5 is the contaminated. Level 6 is the dread fungus, which is actually something I might send an image of. So the dread fungus, I'm not going to explain anything about it because Lightning is just explain his. While I'm putting the image in,
Currently
explain your
dying.
stuff.
Alright. Average. The average.
No demons.
So the average, first of all, if you pay attention to the little eyeballs over there, the light coming from the average's socket, that is not their eye. The light coming from their socket is sort of like a fake eye, since sometimes their eyes may not be there entirely, like it was completely removed. That's a fake eye to make people think that they can see if they can't. Now, the thing dangling is their actual eye. If that's not there, they can't see. If that is there, or if it's him, or if you see an eye in the socket, vision. If you don't see any traces of an eye, no vision. Also, the average, I'm pretty sure, is the only contaminated type that has white glow. So that's an easy way to tell. Now, this goes for all contaminated with mouth. All contaminated, their gums, for one, their teeth are like, wah, and their teeth fall out. But their gums horribly mutate into weird stringy bits. Veins. The contaminated, if you can't tell, if you're like blind as hell, they have bits of skin on parts of their body.
People would either think that's fat or bone.
True. However, at the same time, true, but like on certain parts and other images, it'll be pretty obvious of skin. But
Also, if you're wondering what that white over the average is, like shoulders and stuff, that's a shirt. It's not
yeah,
actually like bone or anything. I thought it was bone. He told me what it was.
yeah, that's not that is that's yeah, that's a shirt, not like bone or freaking like armor plating. Just it's a shirt. Also, yes, brain is exposed. Not all contaminated look like. Not all averages look like that. They have this. They all have different appearances depending on both how they get infected or what they looked like when they were infected. Also, that brain was exposed because their head got bit very aggressively. Now, another thing involving all contaminated is your height can also alter contaminated types. You have a higher chance of becoming a brute, which I'll talk about in a minute, if you're taller. You have a higher chance of becoming a crawler or a floater if you're shorter. And also, gremlins, freaking like people the size of like people like freaking below the height of 5 feet are mostly safe from the infection because contaminated are stupid and don't really know how to bend down and infect people like that. However, they're not immune. However, they're just slightly ability. Head droppers. head droppers are one of my favorite types.
Ugh.
The head dropper. This is one of the examples of where you can clearly tell it's skin and not bone. Because, I mean, look at that melty and oozy bit.
Those are not melting. It looks like it's more like fucking strings.
That looks
Also, I can't click on the images.
that's to be able to tell that it's more of skin, maybe sometimes fat. Now, also, if you can't tell from the contaminated, they're degloved.
Uh, People would think that. Okay, I'm just mentioning from what my perspective is. People would probably think that they aren't degloved, and that's just their skin color. You know, probably that. But
Yeah,
I'm mentioning this. The decontaminated. Imagine a person without skin and just muscle,
yeah.
like no skin at all, and just what's exposed is their
Besides,
muscular
besides
system
bits of skin, like as you can see on the
here
images.
and there. Now, lightning. I'm just mentioning. If you paid attention to the detail of the splitter, this was actually not based off of your contaminated. This was nowhere close to it. It's because I wanted to have a creation that never had skin. Splitters, no, do not have skin, and I've actually based it off of the real life human anatomy. So if you look at the image closely, you're able to see
Alright, well,
what the fat layout is.
now we have been recording for 51 minutes.
All right, continue.
So,
We'll explain the blighted later.
head droppers, the reason why they're censored is because imagine what it would look like for a person to grab their head with strength able to crush a rock. Like a fully solid, not like a small rock, a fully solid rock. Crush it. Imagine someone grabbing their head and ripping it off. That's what it looks like. Also, because I'm too lazy to draw that.
Not
So,
just that, but also you mentioned in party why I asked why the hell is it censored, and he told me the Blue Fire censor it because they're sending images of what they would be like to people, like humans and stuff, and
yeah.
you would be traumatized for looking at the image in real life.
Yeah, looking at the image. Imagine all of this as reality as I explain these. Looking at the image would imagine like having a shotgun straight to the head and firing. That's almost what the head droppers look like whenever they tear off their head. Obviously, wouldn't want to show a bunch of innocent humans or the young blue fire who are just new to the job, a person that looks like their head was blown open. Obviously, you won't want to do that and traumatize them. So they try and censor it as much as
Just
possible.
mentioning, we can mention both of our training. Pause all the explanation. Training for both QHU and for Blue Fire. Differences in Behold. So QHU are meant to be a straight up QHU. So I'll explain some parts. You'll explain some parts of how your training goes at the start. So you imagine this: you walk in the door and you're already put into a position where you're going to have to be put into the QHU. You see a big, bold guy, like not to be offensive or anything, but a really big, chunky guy,
I thought you said
like
bald.
bold, like BOLD. But either way, like a big, okay, fat guy. There you go. Just to mention it. There you go. I'm not even gonna censor it. If people get mad at me for this, I swear. I'm just trying to make it quick. I'm not gonna just mention every single word in the dictionary that means close to
I
fat.
think the only person who
So you
will.
see that guy strapped, not strapped, but sitting on a chair, but he's roped to it with a tape over his mouth. And everyone else is sitting there and they are, they have like, they're just sitting there and everyone's waiting and watching. And then they see the commander walk up with a knife. QHU have to be the strongest in a situation. Also, you see two standards, like yellow blisters strapped to chairs without arms, and they have their jaws still there, but they have like they have guards over their mouth, like something like to keep them from biting things.
Muzzles?
So they have that. and the big guy, um, he's like screaming for help. The QHU train this. They train their soldiers to be on the first day that they are trained. Those that are not fit or well fit for the job are killed right
Your mic
just to
keeps on cutting out. Sorry.
like. But here's the thing: we can go on for hours for this, but that's because this video can go on for hours. It's literally just going to be us explaining lore. It's not like we need a part two of it or anything. But anyway, we can with Ultorb. We can explain like parts that we've missed. Anyway, Lightning, you there?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, good, good, good. Now, here's the thing: the blisters, especially the ferals, which I haven't mentioned, are extremely aggressive, like really aggressive, and they like to brutalize their targets. Now, imagine you're in real life, right? And you see one of your teammates get pinned to a wall and their intestines ripped out, wrapped around their neck and choking them while blood is spraying everywhere. That's exactly what a yellow blister does to someone. They brutalize and mutilate their targets just from standing there. And certain blister types, like the splurger, imagine seeing someone get hit in the face by acid and then it melts their face right in front of you and they want help. The QHU don't react to that. They're meant to be emotionless, and once they see someone die in the most brutal way possible, they ignore it. Because a true QHU is not a pussy like regular military soldiers. Because here's the thing: the QHU are not only drugged right after they get into the field, but they are also filled with a bunch of information that tells them ignore your teammates if they're dying or infected. Because shoot them if they're dying or infecting. Because, and also, here's another rule: it's like normal military, you jump over grenade if it gets attacked. Also, if you see someone get chain wrapped or bone chained on the leg, so there's a trap that the yellow blisters set up. Blisters can actually set up traps. Wow, so surprising. Doorways, kind of wise where your feet are. It's really hard to come across. But if you set it off, a chain made of bone and two spikes will wrap around your foot and impale into your foot, and you will be tracked by yellow blisters. You can't get it out of your foot because it's like muscles are inside of the bone chain, pulling like magnets into your leg, and it gets tighter and tighter until the blisters arrive there and it cuts off your leg whenever you're there right near you. So that's once they are that, you have to leave your teammate behind. Either that or amputate the limb. You ain't gonna be able to get that out of your limb. You either amputate it and get them out of there, or you just leave them there, depending if you don't have the tools or the time. So that's what they do. The QHU leave people behind if it's not necessary. The QHU are that. The blisters have gotten that bad to where they have to leave people behind in Apocalypse. And the way they actually kill their teammates, they don't leave the bodies to infect. They actually burn their teammates alive if they have to, if they don't want to waste any ammo or durability on their knives. So they will not use bullets to kill their teammates if they have to, because these bullets are meant for blisters and meant for a very thing. But explain how Blue Fire are trained, like scouts.
I'll explain just like the basic training. Um, First of all, this is going to be in the point of view of an electrocution because most Blue Fire, like scouts and stuff, the only training they have is so boring because they're just asked some questions. Their test like their stamina and stuff, and then boom, bop, bang, they're on the battlefield and get shot in the head. Um, so for the him just like the electrocutions wanting to be a Blue Fire and him and be a good soldier for the Blue Fire, they go through the most hellish type of training. A training that is actually
Mine wasn't bad enough.
A training that is literally like not even necessary, and you'll be able to understand why. The only like normally like 12 electrocutions are sent in. One almost every time one or two get out, if any. The first stage of the training, just imagine you're one of the electrocutions in this situation. First room of the training, you're put in a room with blood team elites. You have to find a
For
way
fuck's
to.
sakes, dude.
You have to find you have to find a way to kill the elites before they kill you. The elites are armed with guns, all their equipment, and in some cases, they are not even equipped with anything to hold them back from killing you. You are equipped with a pistol, a knife, and your own brain. Now, you have to figure out how to kill normally like four elites before they kill you and all the other 12. Normally, at least like two or three will die in this stage, which
Oh,
is.
hold on. Lightning, can we explain what's the good side and the bad side
Oh, yeah.
of our lores? So, you did a vote, and you said, and that most of your viewers said the blood team were the good side.
Let me recheck it just to see. But, let me recheck it and.
Keep explaining, but
Yeah,
we'll explain what's the good side and the bad side.
the bad side, although in the lore, it is everyone acts like, and it's even in some cases rumored about or like told. Why am I entering Roblox? What the? So sometimes people in the lore will make completely lies about everything. One of the most common is saying that like they were taken by blood team and they were treated terrible and they were almost killed by the blood team. Now, most people do actually think the blood team are the good guys. Nobody thinks the blue fire are the good guys, which is quite funny. But to the people who thought the blood team were the good guys, congratulations, you're correct. The blood team are the good guys in the story, while the humans destroyed their planet, destroyed multiple species. In this lore, in the future, the planet is so intoxicated and so corrupt to the point where you can't even sleep or shower or do any of that without wearing a gas mask unless you want to catch like diseases and death. They created they unintentionally created a virus or like parasite. They contaminate it, and instead of locking down the facility or nuking it or like doing anything to stop it from spreading, they let the contaminated out into the open worldwide world, and you know what happens. Basically, the blue fire.
All right. So,
Yeah, you can tell the humans aren't good guys. The blue fire helped the humans, and the blood team are trying to just tried helping the humans. However, the humans became hostile, and the blood team resorted to violence, killing almost every human.
kind
So
of
yeah,
same case for lightning, but here's the actual story. The blisters may seem like bad guys, but they see themselves as justice. They see themselves as the authority. They see themselves as law. Although there is a thing in my lore called Goliaths, which actually are my universe's law. Everyone probably forgot about them. Goliaths are huge beings, very big.
big boss.
Hold on.
What's the bro?
Oh,
Well,
sorry, my grandpa's awake.
oh.
We're explaining in the middle of the night.
True. 2 a.m. Uh, we've been explaining for 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Yeah, give me a second. Hold on. I'll start explaining stuff in a second.
May I continue explaining while you do that?
Explain stuff while I'm,
So, for the head droppers, I'm going to continue with a bit of stuff. First of all, if the name doesn't explain it already, the head droppers can drop their heads. After they throw their head, the head will normally clamp down onto people using its mouth and just start chewing them. Just be like to the person. The hem, the head dropper can grab their head and it'll reattach with veins. Veiny veins, which is also why you see the skin around there like that, because the head droppers normally will use either their own head, or if that's not available, they'll use decapitated heads, or they'll use heads from corpses that they find, which is why the skin is there, because they tried attaching a human head to them and the skin melted away because of the contaminated worm inside. Sprinter. The sprinters are veiny. The sprinter has the same thing as the average. Their gums have become weird. Their brain is painter. Don't mind that. This one doesn't have a glow in their
Alright, I'm
eyes.
back, kind of.
Alright, let me finish the sprinter real quick.
Okay, then.
This one, they're able to still see. This one doesn't need an eye to be able to see, because since they're sprinting so much, they kind of require vision to be able to not be like straight into something. So they're able to see even if their entire head is gone. The parts of skin is exposed, as you can tell, and that's basically just average but fast. I could have just said that, but now Hazma if you're able, if you are ready to be able to explain more,
Yeah.
you may explain.
So, my villains and my good guys are actually undecided in my lore, meaning that it's pretty hard to tell what's good and what's bad. But the blisters see themselves as good guys, so you better believe it if they are, or you better not believe it if you don't. So it's a win-win situation for whoever wants to be or whoever doesn't want to be good guy or bad guy. The Tharius, which is the white and yellow guys in my lore, also they have the the whole thing down where they kill yellow blisters and stuff if the yellow blisters get in their way. Blisters have been completely reduxed, like ever since they've first been created. They used to be zombies where if you shot them, they got more resilient, and then they ran towards you and picked up guns and killed you with them. The more they killed, the smarter they got. Nowadays, they're blisters that have like the ability to know how to use guns right off the bat. They don't get stronger if you shoot them, only certain types, and so on and so forth. But enough about that. The good guys and the bad guys. The blisters were first seen on the first Earth. Destroyed. Earth was destroyed 5 times by the yellow blisters by
Alfie.
themselves. Yeah, Earth has been recreated by the Tharius 5 times. The fifth Earth is the Earth that is actually 73% taken over by yellow blisters in my lore, has been reduced to 54% because of the Tharius and the QHU working hard to get rid of blisters. They ain't having another planet destroyed by the blisters. So they want the blisters eradicated. So the blisters are infuriated knowing that their whole thing is going to happen. But what really is wrong is humans, obviously. What really is messed up is what humans did to cause the blisters to exist. The humans, in my lore at least, if Lightning's lore existed, they would have never acted the way they did to the Blood Team. They would have actually wanted help from the Blood Team instead of attacking them. But in this case, in my lore, the humans aren't brainless. They actually had a reason behind why they did everything. So here's the thing. You know if something's bad when even the infection you're fighting finds you bad. And here's the thing. In my lore, the blisters think the humans are bad. If the infection finds you bad,
You're
like that you're
definitely bad.
fighting, yeah, you're definitely bad. Like, you gotta be insane. But either way, here's what happens. So a person, I forgot his name already, but so a person decided to talk with the head doctor, known as Dr. Crash, which is the administrator of Cortec Laboratories, or QTL for short. He decided he was going to kill poor people because of overpopulation. Overpopulation on Earth started rising very high. Although they had spacecraft, they could go to different planets. People that couldn't afford spacecraft and go to different planets decided they wanted to stay on Earth instead of actually, getting on the donor ones and getting off Earth. They decided to sit on their asses and go on here. They could have easily said the homeless people could go to free stuff and, go to different planets. No, they decided to actually keep them here in their own hell and kill them. Now, the blisters were already a problem. Earth. So, the blisters on the fifth Earth, at least, have always been problems. I said the three things like three. I said the same thing like three times. But as I'm trying to say, they are pretty. They're a pretty big threat, but they started getting really bad because the blisters have been eradicated like three times during the fifth Earth because they did learn the humans' patterns. So they killed the humans like they killed the blisters like off completely three times, but they've been revitalized each and every time by both Atharius and everything else. But here's the main thing. The blisters have been revitalized by this character of literally pure narcissism and pure extreme disgust. Like he wants everything to himself. So very he's envious of people that have that he's just really bad. He's a
He's a
really
rich
bad
person,
guy.
basically.
He's what?
He's a very rich person, basically.
Yeah, he's like rich, like extremely. He thinks he's better than everyone else. Pride. But either way, he's very he's a very disgusting human being. So after he decides to revitalize the yellow blister infection, he revitalizes it and makes prototypes that are chipped with the control chip that basically makes it to where the blisters make good decisions and not bad ones. Good decisions meaning killing only the poor people and leaving middle class alone. So, what does he do? He sends them into the poorest towns so the blisters can infect and kill all the homeless people. And he didn't expect them to kill them and infect them. He only expected them to kill them. So all those homeless people that got infected and all them poor people, they started turning. And after they did, it caused an apocalypse. Gates started closing. All kinds of different things happened. And the blisters started rising. Humans created walls. And then soon enough, after it got a little bit out of hand, it started spreading all throughout the country of the United States. Now, it started in Europe, and it actually completely destroyed Europe after the whole thing. The rich guy started it all in Europe, and then it got out of hand in Europe. And then in the United States, it started getting there too. That's where it started getting really bad. That's where things like news medias popped up, like the blisters started attacking people. So ever since Europe went out of signal, like a whole damn fucking continent, like three continents wiped out because of like the entirety of Europe and the entirety of Asia. Three, no, two whole fucking continents wiped out because of one infection, stopped responding entirely. People didn't even get a chance because the blisters cut off all electricity over up in Europe. They cut off everything. They cut off all the power grids, they cut off everything. Now you're wondering how they did this? It's because the blisters were still alive and they cut off every single power system they could. Europe couldn't respond. They couldn't actually send out calls. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't warn the United States. What happened? The United States started, getting suspicious on why the hell Europe and everything isn't doing anything. So they sent extraction teams and stuff to look for, they sent the military there to see what's going on, only to find out that their helicopters didn't come back after they lost signal. Well, a helicopter came back all right. Not the same anymore. After it came back, the blisters started infesting the United States. The United States put up walls called the quarantine zone. And that's where it started coming in. Now, if you're wondering, I just told you and summarized a whole blister story. What does this have to do with good side and bad side? The good side is the blisters, the whole story shows you something. The humans started their own apocalypse. What does that show you? Who do you think is a good guy? No, who do you think is the good guy in this situation? The blisters or the humans?
I think it's pretty obvious.
The blisters are doing what they were built to do. The humans killed themselves. So the blisters are only following orders. The humans, obviously. They just created their own demise. Now, I'm not saying in both of our lores the humans are dumb and stupid. We don't desire the humans to be, smart and dumb and stuff. We're going to get killed by the FBI right after we're done with this video, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But either way, we're going to get silenced. This video is going to get struck down by the FBI. But either way, this whole blister stuff, all of this yellow blister infection, that all has to do with humans. Like Fifth Earth kind of thing. That rich guy died, but humans are not, good in my lore. I mean...
No, really?
Nah, man. They're really good. But either way, the Tharius are not going to build a sixth Earth, because if humans are going to keep dying because the blisters want them dead that much, they ain't going to build a sixth one. So humans are holding off really well. So that's where the QHU come in. The QHU, which is the other faction, Labyrinth Technologies and the Yellow Blisters, and also AHTT and Tharius. So you got the TEU, the QHU, the AHTT, the LTT, and the Yellow Blisters. There are 5 factions. All of them have to do something. Labyrinth Technologies is enemies with core tech laboratories, and it all has to do with inside of the quarantine zone. All of them have something in common. All of them want all of the Yellow Blisters dead, but AHTT are interesting. The AHTT are no other side but themselves, yet blisters don't attack them. Why do you think this, Lightning? Blisters don't attack the AHTT. And you know what the AHTT are, right?
Anti-human trained troops.
Yeah, anti-human trained troop. Now, you might think, oh, the blisters don't want to attack them because, they have the same goals as the blisters do. No. The blisters don't attack them for one reason. They aren't impeding on their progress. So the blisters see the AHTT as either an ally because of their reputation against humans, and also because of the whole, I guess you could be right. They do have the same goals in mind, but they aren't attacking because they are impeding on their progress. The Tharius are, which is why they're killing them. The Labyrinth Technologies is as well. Not just that, but also because they're humans as well. The QHU as well. But humans, the QHU are so far beyond a human that you can't even tell if it's a human or not. So it's a really hard difference to tell if they're human or if they're human or if they're just a super soldier. Explain your lore here in a second. AHTT are black and red dudes that do not look exactly like the Blood Team. I actually created these before I even knew about Lightning's Blood Team, and so it's a coincidence that they're both black and red. But they both have the same goals in mind. The AHTT and the blood team, if they were both in the same lore, would be allies. We've decided with this, right, Lightning?
Yeah.
And the AHTT, you'll actually see them in a scene walking with yellow blisters, like blisters attacking humans, but the AHTT walking by and the blisters not paying any mind to them. Or like, say, if you'll see a blister like walking in an AHTT moving around with no difficulty. Because here's the thing: AHTT aren't humans. It might seem like they are. The human versions of them will not get attacked by yellow blisters because they are attacked because they are cleansed, because they remove everything that is human from them. Emotion, they remove emotion and everything from a human that makes them human. They remove mistakes, emotion, and last but not least, their blood color. I mean, not just that, but that's what also makes them different. But either way, Tharius aren't human either. They are plants, actually. Living freaking plants. So, yeah. But anyway, explain your lore,
Oh, thank God.
or what you want to explain.
Alright, the contamination. Yes, I'm still with the contamination.
Tweaker ripoff.
The
Tweakers in my lore are just imagine Among Us, but on a whole nother level. Tweakers are literally just blend in with humans, exact copies. Talk like them, act like them, and are them.
So the contamination, if you can see from the image, they defy logic in some cases. So imagine you're on a team. You notice one of your teammates leaning against the wall, and you can see them just you look away for like 4 seconds. You look back, and all you see from your teammate is their gun on the floor. You look around and you see the wall bust open, and instead of expecting to be like hit by a chunk of metal or something, or dying by like a brute or something, you see all the chunks of debris floating in place, almost like the thing is lagging or frozen. You see the contamination laterally walk him, and it practically like lad style teleports in front of one of your teammates and grabs them by the neck, and and you see your teammate disintegrate into glitchy biomass, and the contamination leaves. That's what the contamination is. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, or they don't care who you are, what you are, or what your purpose is. Unless you're contaminated, they will disintegrate you and turn you into glitch unless you're too strong for it, like you're a god. They they have also been able to be
Or certain yellow blister types.
they're friendly towards Yellow Blister as long as the Yellow
I
Blister is
know.
friendly towards
I'm just joking when I say that.
But the contamination, this is something for all contaminated as well. All of them are able to speak like proper of their language to him. The only thing is that most of them prefer not to because it hurts their voice. Like imagine talking in a very, very demonic or deep voice and your throat hurts. That's how they feel. So they prefer to talk in like and stuff like that. And hey, Hassan Soul, if we make another lore video, maybe you could give examples of what Yellow Blister sound like.
Ooh, I'm gonna send a picture of the infested.
Now,
So, this boy.
the
Look,
next,
give the show the viewers.
alright, and now I'm going to explain the last two. Mushroom. They look like a mushroom. They look disturbing. Anyway, now back up to these images. For the next one, the Bondolers. The Bonders, not the Bondolers. The Bonders.
Imagine.
They're bonded to each other by hundreds of veins. Those veiny things, those are
Yummy.
veins. Imagine the pain of him. Contaminated feel pain in every single part of their body, even parts that don't feel pain. Like, yeah, like whenever like you clip your fingernail and it doesn't really hurt. Well, contaminated can feel it, and it feels like stepping on a Lego. That's how it would feel if you, for some reason, clipped a
Or
contaminated
getting a
snail.
splinter in between your toenail and your skin.
But yeah. So imagine you're a bonder, and you see a person charge towards you and slice straight between you and your bonded contaminated, cutting all the veins. Now the one that the one that seems to have a mouth and an eye with a hole in their chest, that is the pain part. The pain part is the one that operates like the pain or the feelings, or like basically that's the one that operates with the touch. The one that is less injured looking is the one that operates the vision, the hearing, the smelling, and basically all the senses. So imagine you have all the veins cut and you see the contaminated that you were bonded to fall to the floor and scream and writhe in pain after having the veins cut between you. And all you can do is try and kill the human and rebond him with the contaminated before they die. Then, after they die, if you haven't killed the human already, you, you take the hunter from Halo. They lose their bonded ally and they go full berserk mode. The
That would be a Halo 5
yeah. The
and 6
the
or
yeah
Infinity.
the the bonder, whichever one is the one that didn't die, will be able to become strong enough to grab a boulder and hold it with their pinky finger. That's how strong they get until they kill the person who killed their bonded contaminated. The hemp. So, long story short, if you're going to cut either of the contaminated, the hemp bonders, cut the one that, cut the one that, what the, cut the one that has like a giant hole in their face. If they have a hole in their face, cut it. If they don't cut it until you cut the one with a hole in their face, unless you crave death. Screecher. Ew.
Among Us.
That's
Just imagine the Twitcher. Just imagine the Twitcher, but summarized.
basically. Take the Screecher from State of Decay 2. There.
The Screamer, actually. Anyway,
Same thing.
so the Berserker. That is a form of senseless. It's one of the older versions of the senseless. Berserkers are a mixture between an infection I have called the crystalline and an infection that I have called the abyss plague. Now, I've changed it from yellow blister to abyss plague. Now, abyss plague is the infection from the abyss. Now, let's explain the void and the abyss. You can send images of the void, but hold on. Even the questionable ones, but not the ones that you sent to the interesting stuff in the hamburger
Yeah,
cult.
that was
But
not
either
what the
way,
hell I'm doing that.
now here's the thing: the abyss is a hellhole of things, and it is something that you actually can't escape. And those that actually have escaped have died right after they have. And non-canonly, 23 people escaped. Canonly, one person has escaped and died. 23 people that have escaped died at least 2 to 3 seconds after being out of the abyss. Because the abyss is nowhere to be. Once you're there, you're dead. You're literally chosen to die. Now, here's the thing, the abyss is random. It can come at any moment. In my lore, the abyss is literally seen to be hell itself because of how scary it could be just for it to happen to you. The abyss comes at any random moment, any given time, any given second, any given millisecond. The way to tell if the abyss is arriving, you can't escape it once it has. If you do try to, it's already too late. Everyone around you, except for you, now, here's the thing you and everyone else around you will be into the abyss, but everyone around you will stand still in the same position they've been in. No matter what you do, you poke them, they're going to stay still. You're going to see them all look at you, and if they don't have a mask, you'll see black liquid leaking from their eyes. That's the horrifying thing. And then everyone drops to the ground, and then you wake up into the abyss. And you wake up into the abyss after watching your whole team or whatever you were with stare at you with blank, lifeless eyes leaking black liquid. Now, here's the thing. Once you're in the abyss, you're not dealing with the senseless. You're not dealing with the blisters. You're not dealing with anything but the abyss stalkers. Now, you're dealing with the abyss stalkers and the abyss giants, as well as blisters and senseless here and there. But here's the thing. Senseless are not immortal. They are actually able to die. It's very, very hard to kill them, though, because you have to find a certain weak spot, and the way to find it, you have to find an adrenaline tracker. To do that, you actually need to take a night vision scope, take a thermal scope, and take adrenaline from a human body, straight from a fresh human body that has been killed in the next minute, or from you. The way to get adrenaline from your body is think of yourself doing something either heroic or stupid, and then adrenaline will run through your body, and you grab that and inject it out of you. You put it over the scope, and you're able to see the weak spot of the senseless. Once you hit that, you have gotten a bingo spot, which is exactly what it's called. The bingo spot of a winkless, of a senseless. The bingo spot of a senseless is where you The bingo spot of a senseless is exactly where you aim. Now, if you have an automatic weapon, you can just spray and pray on it, but the senseless will die if you hit the right spot. But either way, most spots have either most spots in most commonly is either around the shoulders, like neck part of the shoulders, like imagine like the start of your ribs, the pelvis, not like in the middle, but like on the left or the right of it, and then sometimes on the chin. Most of it, well, not the chin, they don't have chins. Most of it, or being right in the middle of the nose, where the nose should be. Now, if you shoot the hands of a senseless that's coming out of its body, which is the horrifying thing, if you see a senseless get too close to someone, it will grab you with its millions of hands, drag you closer to it, and kill you horrifyingly. And here's the thing, in the abyss, it's like a wave survival kind of thing where you have to deal with abyss stalkers, and after you deal with them, you will get resupplied with ammo that randomly appears in your vest. It comes out of nowhere and it is the exact same ammo you have that you just used on a whole wave. Once you get past that wave, stronger enemies will appear and the enemies will get stronger. If one of your teammates dies, it gets easier. If one of your teammates either have somehow came back or an extra person comes into the same building, then it gets harder. Imagine if anyone has either played Garden Warfare 2, has either played wave survival games like the Final Stand 2 on Roblox, where we literally just did a video on it. When did we do it?
What?
Oh, we didn't do a Final Stand video. We were going to, but it glitched out. But either way, we can't do it on Final Stand. If you've ever played the Final Stand, or if you've played any game where it's wave survival, that's what the abyss is like. But instead, you can actually hear screams and constant ambience in the area. You can hear screams and echoes and stuff in the abyss because of the constant like other buildings that have been attacked. Also, you'll be in the exact same building that you were in during the whole abyss situation. Also, the abyss mostly happens on a dread moon in my lore. What?
You said abyss situation, so I said abyssation.
Bruh. Anyway, you have to deal with the abyss differently. It is like a whole experience doing it. But we should probably end this video because we've been talking for like how long now?
About
Explain your
1 hour
void
and
and then
34
I'll
minutes.
explain your void and then upload it.
So, this. This is the first. No, hold on. This is the first version. This is the Tractor Voidling. Blue eyes, completely void black body, obviously. And the the Tractor Voidlings don't really do much. All they really do is, upon being killed, which is one reason why you shouldn't kill them, they will release a sort of like sound that only other voidlings can hear.
Or chemical.
Sound which other voidlings can hear, which lead to
Chemical.
which lead to them which lead to them stalking them and finding the person. They are very stupid.
Oh, the R34 of this video is gonna hit hard though.
Shut up. they
Got all bets on the white-eyed voidling.
they what freaking god. Anyway, they only really know how to communicate with people to piss them off and get the person to kill them. Because once you're in the void, you can get pissed off at the slightest of things, to the point where somebody, well, a voidling was talking two people, and one of the persons jokingly took a magazine from one of the people. They were as they were handing the magazine to the person who had it taken, the person grabbed the magazine, put it in their gun, and shot the person in the head because of how pissed they were, and then proceeded to shoot themselves. So the void can really make you experiencing major anger issues. So it basically will lead you to unintentionally, but at the same time intentionally, killing that voidling. Please no. Please no. Dude, I was in the picture with the blue voidling and I go out and all I see is the piece.
Me when I try vegan food.
I mean, some of it's pretty good, but I was going to say, yeah, these tend to have a male appearance, but sometimes they have a female appearance to, instead of piss the person off, lure them in, because you know what humans are like. The red one,
Wow. The R34 community is gonna hit hard though.
the red ones, not the wet ones, the red ones.
The
They
wet
are
ones.
they are hunters. The red ones are hunters. They are aggressive enough to the point where they will grab you by the face and rip it clean off. They are also they also get humor out of torturing you, so they will do stuff like, not even joking, they will grab your testicles and rip them off. And
As I said, the R34 would hit hard, bro.
they they will they will murder you and torture you so much to the point where even like
Will hit hard.
even even the most even like the most like emotionless when it comes to gore, like even somebody who like has no reaction to the most amount of gore would be unsettled by how aggressive the hunters are. Now, hunters, violent, yes. Um, the stranglers don't say anything, Hazmat Stole. The Stranglers.
Man, I want to get strangled by that.
The Stranglers. Oh yeah, hold on. The Hunters. It's almost impossible to tell what gender they are. Their voice, their appearance never changes. Their appearance is always a male-like appearance. However, their voice is always either female or male sounding. You can never tell what gender they really are. Yes, they actually have genders. The Stranglers. That's not a Strangler. Don't say anything hazmat stole, please and thank you. The Stranglers.
I have myself muted so I don't accidentally say anything.
Good. The
Well, not
Strang.
muted, but my like I'm not saying anything,
The
and
Strang.
I have my volume really down.
The Stranglers are mostly just curious. However, annoy them too much, they will grab you by the neck, and if the name doesn't explain it enough, they will strangle you.
Like Homer to his son Bart.
Yeah, that's quite literally how it would be. Now, their appearance, if you couldn't tell from the image, considering how they're the only one with the image, they are commonly a female appearance with a female voice, because they prefer teasing their victims with stuff like luring them in so they can literally grab their victim and strangle them until their face is more blue than the blue fire. So
As I said, the R34 would hit hard.
the
The next senior pillow.
Senior Pillow just pissed off. The Strangler. The Strangler also is just concerned at humans as they stalk the humans, and trust me, the things they've seen humans say and think of doing. Trust me, you don't want to know. But
Hey yo.
the Voidlings are also very sarcastic when talking to other Voidlings or creatures or people. Basically, take sarcasm and turn it into a person. Also, the Voidlings, although a lot of them don't really have hair, because, like, why the hell would they have hair? Some of them do have hair. The female, like, Voidlings do tend to be slightly faster.
Or will hit hard.
The female ones tend to be faster and just a teeny tiny inty binty butthole squinty bit. Butthole squinty bit.
This video is gonna get taken down near because of the ending part.
Yeah. Just a little bit more curious than the male ones. The male ones um, tend to look more like the military in a way when it comes to their appearance. Because they do look like they wear clothing, even though they don't. As a stole. They look like they wear clothing in some cases, although they don't. It's completely black. Just take military clothing and paint it black. And make it completely black.
And Among Us.
the, the male ones tend to have either tactical, a suit, or just casual uniforms, depending on what they're doing. If they're trying to kill, then tactical. If they're just existing, then casual. And if they're trying to lure people in, then they would tend to use suits. Female, same case. However, sometimes they will tend to also wear stuff like dresses and stuff instead of suits, or casual outfits. Also, this is probably going to be the moment where the FBI comes after me. The voidlings are able to enter the real world during the night, and also the voidlings do not reproduce. Saying that for the special artist, the voidlings do not reproduce. I swear, I already know if anybody made special art of it. I'm going to find where they live and pull and they do not reproduce, but instead they grab people. Normally, all of them, even the tractor ones, will grab people, plunge their fist into the person's heart, and slowly but surely corrupt the person's body into a void like figure. Then they will just let the person float around for a bit, and the person will be like, and turn into a voidling.
That could be put in so many different ways in an R34 artist mind.
Anyway, now, before we end off this video, Hazmat Skull. You still got a him in this area. You still got a him in this lore explaining server. I hope you understand that.
I don't know what you mean, man.
Scroll up a bit and you'll see,
I don't know what you mean.
I've died on foot. Anyway, now let's take a tour of the Hamburger Told. Just temporary. Alright.
Oh yeah, before you end the video.
What is it?
Guess what?
What is it?
The R34 were hit hard. And also, Among Us.
This is why I don't like recording with you.
But also, good job. Almost 2 hour long video.
1 hour, 46 minutes.
Did you stop it?
No, not yet.
Oh, damn.